welcome to another episode of The C Shop, where entertainment, business, and giving back meet to bring you the latest in celebrity news and info you won't hear anywhere else. Our celebrity guest is a host on VH1, and you see her at all the red carpet events, interviewing all the top celebrities. So would you join me in welcoming Janelle Snowden?
How are you?
How are you?
I'm great.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here. It's weird to be on this side and answer questions. I'm used to asking, so.
I bet. So tell me more about the shows that you host.
Yeah, I've been at VH1 for a while now, 7 years. So I am the one and only news correspondent. So I'm pretty much everywhere from LA to New York, any place in between where there's something hot going on or something not so hot. If there's a tragedy, a celebrity tragedy, then I'm there. And most recently, we have started a live morning show called Big Morning Buzz Live. It's a tongue twister, VH1's Big Morning Buzz Live. And so most mornings you can see me there at 10 a.m. And for that, we have to get up bright and early. I am up at 4:30 a.m., out of the house at 6, at work at 6:30, and we do a quick run through and we're live at 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a whirlwind morning.
Now, I know you have Twitter followers and Facebook followers.
Yes.
Do you want to give a shout out to them?
I do. I love my Twitter and Facebook family, Instagram, all that. Everything is simple. I'm the same person. It's just at Janell Snowden, JANELLSNOWDEN. So whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, God, you name it, it's all there. But you can just go to my website and you can click on everything. It's just JanellSnowden.com. I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know, when people have different names, it's confusing. You don't know like where they're this and where they're that. Right. Just me all day long. Janelle Snowden.
Well, you know, we feel like we know you because we see you on TV for so many years, interviewing George Clooney, Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, those are some of my favorites.
And you're a private person, but I want to find out something we may not know about you.
It's weird, you know, people do call me private because I was late to the whole social media thing. Like I was definitely one of the last people to join Facebook.
Yes.
But I guess it's just because, you know, as a journalist, I've always considered myself more of an observer instead of, you know, a sharer. You know, I like to share the information that I learn, but don't necessarily like to tell you about myself. I know it's weird.
Yeah.
You know, I guess in journalism school, you're taught to not be the story, but to tell the story. So it's just something that I'm kind of getting used to embracing.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that people actually are curious about me. It's like, really?
Yeah. You are a celebrity. You're on TV every day. There's no difference.
You know, it's so funny because I don't know how we define celebrity anymore. It's so weird because now you have reality TV, and that's just created a whole different brand of celebrities. It's, you know, they're very unlike movie stars. Some of them become movie stars. You don't know. So I've never thought that just because you're on television, it means you're a celebrity. But I guess to some, it does mean that. So whatever, I'll embrace it.
Now, I know you have some projects coming up.
Yeah.
Can you share?
Absolutely. A few things. I mean, most of my days are totally consumed with the VH1 business, whether it's the morning show, which I told you I have to get up for at 4:30 a.m. We'll tape 2 shows usually, and let's say I'm done at about 4 p.m. Then I'll go down to my downtown office where I'll do a lot of the voiceovers for VH1, some for some other clients and projects, and then I'll go to a red carpet event or do like a celebrity interview, or sometimes I'll go see a music show in preparation for an interview that I'm doing.
Okay.
That's one of the things that I don't think a lot of people realize is that when we're doing, you know, when you see someone interviewing someone, you know, sure there are producers who can help to prep you, but I always like to do my own preparation so that it feels more organic. I don't like to write my questions down generally when I'm interviewing somebody because I find that I don't listen as much.
Right.
You know, it's more conversational. Like I've noticed that when I was first starting out, I would go into things and I'd have a long list of questions I wanted to get through, and if I didn't get through all of them, I would feel so defeated, and I'd feel like, oh, that interview was terrible, when it really wouldn't be. It was just that I felt like there was so much more that I wanted to get through when really the audience had enough. So I find that when I don't write my questions down,
it goes better.
It goes better because I listen and I ask follow-up questions. For example, if you were to say like, yeah, you know, and then I was thinking about jumping off a bridge, and I'm looking at my question list and I'm like,
right.
You know, like you missed that key moment.
To me?
Exactly. You know, and think about it. Like if you're talking to me, or if I'm talking to you and I see you looking down at yours, it feels like you're disengaged. So it doesn't make me want to share as much.
Yes.
So just some things I've picked up along the way as I've been doing this, as you said, for many years. Makes me feel old.
Well, now speaking of creativity, we have an artist coming up that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
It has
I can't wait to meet him.
133,000 images online.
I love artists. I love the energy that they bring. Very eccentric.
So would you like to bring Walter and Vonabell?
I would love to.
Onto our show?
Come on,
All right,
Walter and Vonabell.
It's great to see you two.
How are you? Love your necklace.
Thank you. You have the same great taste.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Our hot
Yes.
rocks are awesome. And speaking of hot, This is Walter, and he is a hot New York artist.
How about it?
And really, really talented, as many of the people in New York are. And you know, he has a great history because he's been at his craft for over 50 years.
Wow.
Really?
But you look so young.
I am in my mind.
In your head, huh?
How did you start? You have a great story about being 8 years old.
Oh, well, first of all, I was 7 before I was 8. And the thing was that my uncle, who was a TV engineer for ABC, had me to the studio. So I was in a place just like this a long, long time ago, and it was really tremendous to me. I was little. And what happened was there was this favorite show that they had at that time was called Pinky Lee. And this was the studio for where they did the Pinky Lee show. And they had the fountain that Pinky Lee, I don't know if anyone knows that.
That is so cool. Now, let's go from Pinky to Brownie, because I think Brownie is what tells the story, right? It's that camera at 8 years old?
Well, what happened was that my father asked me at 7, after this studio experience, what it is that I wanted to do when I grew up. And I said a cop or a fireman, because he was a cop and I didn't want to insult him. What do I know at 7 years old? You want to do whatever your father says, right? So I said, or does. So I said the cop or a fireman, because I like the colors, the blue uniform of both the fireman and the policeman, and the red
the colors
fireman.
is what inspires you to be a photographer, isn't it?
Right.
It's just all the rich colors. And I understand that you have 137,000 digital images for people to view and enjoy 24 hours a day, right?
24 hours a day, 365 days a year, for the rest of their lives, free.
Online.
And you also have the ability for them to buy things from you.
Yes.
And what's neat about Walter is when he offers his services, he has all these prints. If you pick something, you can pick your format, whether you want it on a canvas or paper, and then you can choose the size. So if you're thinking of one of Walter's artworks because you have fallen in love with the colors and shapes that Walter does, then you can say, well, the space I have to work with is 20 by 30, and Walter will make that image for you in just the size and just the colors that you want for your home.
Talk about
He's
custom.
very talented.
Yeah.
So so if you have a living room like this, but you can't seem to find the right image, you're going to find it there.
In his gallery.
Or he can customize it for you.
Sometimes, you know, you have a huge wall, you don't know what to do with it. You can't quite find something that's big enough. You would come in handy.
Well, yes, actually it's ordered directly from the website, and there's the paper, there's 7 different paper types. So there's different textures of the paper depending on your own preference. So you take 137,000 and multiply it by 7, or canvas, that's 8, and the different sizes in between. You have a big, wide range of choices.
And Walter is so talented. He actually had his first art gallery show in 1976. And that was a big thing.
Before your time.
He was doing photography before you were born. His experience is so vast, and he's so talented. As you can see, he has a very creative mind.
Yes.
And he sees something, he wants to capture it, and he does. And then he makes it available for everybody in his Bebirian Art Gallery. So there's a lot of talent here.
Where can we get it?
Well,
What's the website?
Bebirianart.com is the site directly to my art galleries, and that's where you'll find the 137,000 images. And you can look at it 24 hours, 365 days for the rest of your life, free.
I just love the colors. I noticed the colors. Those were so intriguing. You can even see it here.
Yeah.
Just amazing. So where do you get that inspiration from?
Ooh, everything.
Everything.
Everything. Her eyes, the lipstick, the jewelry. I mean, I've been photographing for different customers for many years. So I have artists that come to me, jewelry manufacturers, all different things. And I do photographing for myself from nature, the flowers. I mean, the most beautiful thing, and they're all different. Each flower has its own face.
That is true.
So
you can see his creative mind.
Yes,
he
absolutely.
really, truly has that creative mind, and he's been doing the photography and the art for so long that he can take that experience. And some of his prints are very, very valuable. You know, he actually has some that can cost into the $1 million. That's how well known of an artist he is, and the talent that we're speaking of for Walter.
You sell one of those, and you don't have to work the rest of the year.
But he would want to, because he enjoys the creativity.
I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I love what I'm doing so much. See, that's the whole beauty of finding whoever you are, whatever you love to do, you can do it,
if you do it.
and never be tired or bored with it.
Yeah.
And so I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and start doing my art. And then around 11:30, I go to the city and hand out my cards, because we have 10 million people that live in Manhattan or New York metropolitan area. And then there's 47 million people that come from all over the world to Manhattan to look at this store or that store, this museum. And I think of it that they come there to get my card. And when I give them the card, they can go back home. They don't have to pay any airfare or anything. And they could sit there and look at my art for free.
Well, they came to see a world famous New York artist.
That
And they're seeing him right there in New York
How
in his
cool is
studio. But he likes to go out and see his customers face to face. So he actually will go out and hand out his cards so that people can see his artwork.
I'll have to
which
look
is
for you
very
on
nice
Fifth
for
Avenue.
a photographer and artist of his stature to go face to face with his public.
Yeah,
And what
absolutely.
I noticed is you use the photography, but then you also do the digital art, which I feel like a lot of people just, if you're a photographer, you just stay there and you don't cross over as an artist into more digital.
Well,
but I noticed
after-
that you do.
After a while, you want to expand. Like a lot of famous artists, they started getting involved with death after a certain point. They couldn't figure out what to go, so they think about death or they put it in their art. But I feel that I want to be here forever, because I just want to be here to see what's coming next.
Yeah. And there's a lot of life in Walter's art.
Oh, yes,
Tremendous
vibrant.
amount of vibrant and color. So when you bring that artwork into your home, you feel that life.
And he
so you want to own a
immortalizes-
piece of Bebirian art.
Right, and he immortalizes himself through his art. So you will live forever through your
And
art.
it all started when he was 8 years old with a Brownie camera. And today, Walter says that today's digital technology is his greatest playground.
Aw.
So that's what he's enjoying doing.
Well,
Well,
Walter, thank you so much for joining us. Vonabell, for
Absolutely.
sharing this great talent with us.
Who doesn't love
And-
great art?
And you can go straight to this website that you see that's on the screen.
Right.
And thank you so much, Walter.
Enjoy.
It's been a pleasure. We will.
Nice
Thank
to meet you.
Nice to see you.
A pleasure.
Your art
Janelle.
is so
You
very
beautiful
My
lady.
hands are so wet.
Great, thank you.
Good to see you. But Janelle, well, we're about to say goodbye to you.
I
It's been so
know.
much fun.
I have
seeing all
enjoyed
these
being
creative
here.
people.
I know. You know what I love seeing about them is just their passion. You know, just like Walter was saying, when you truly love what you do, it doesn't feel like work, and that's how you obtain success. Is because you love to do it, so you do it often enough that you can't help but to get great at it. You market it, people love it. The rest is history.
That's right.
Yeah.
And to be able to have so many people who appreciate it, whether it's around your neck or it's on the wall.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's another expression. So someone's talent, we get to share in that as well.
I'm all
Pretty
about
cool.
expression. I consider what I do as a journalist, a creative expression, whether it's through creative writing, if I'm writing a piece, or visual expression, if I'm putting a piece together and producing it for you to see. So life to me is all about expression. However you choose to do it, whether it's through a beautiful piece that I'm obsessed with like this, or through Walter's art, however it is, you know, through this organization, through Black Girls Rock, which is expressing itself and just showing love for young girls. I mean, it's amazing.
And she actually has this piece that she was speaking of earlier.
This is gorgeous, and the thing I love about it most, in addition to the smoking, the flaming diamond, which is her symbol, is that on the back it says "Your life has meaning," which is exactly what we try to tell the girls who are mentees of Black Girls Rock. You know, we want all of them to feel like your life has meaning.
Yeah,
so this is
that's beautiful.
awesome.
So Hot
I'm
Rock,
gonna share this with one of the girls.
Black Girls Rock.
There you go.
I see
synergy.
a theme going on
There's
here.
Some synergy.
So tell us a little bit more about that charity.
Yeah, well, Black Girls Rock is a charity that was founded by a model turned DJ named Beverly Bond. She actually had a movie made about her life in the 90s starring Halle Berry, but she's embarrassed to ever admit that.
Oh,
so
wow.
I said it for her. And she basically was tired of the negative images that she felt like the young girls were being plagued by in the media, whether through negative portrayals in reality television or in scripted television, and in movies and in music videos, perhaps. She just felt like, there needed to be a better balance so that women weren't so objectified.
Yeah.
And so she founded this organization that every Saturday takes a group of girls that have been picked or recommended by their guidance counselors or through community organizations that, are in need of some type of mentor, and she is so hands-on with them. She takes them and does all kinds of activities, and it's a full day's thing. It's, you know, she's there with all of her staff every Saturday, and she'll take them to whether it's a DJ class or a poetry class or a workshop, and she'll have leaders in the different fields come in and do a workshop with the girls. And so I've come in and spoken to them, you know, as a journalist, because a lot of times girls will say, I want to do what you do, it looks so glamorous. I'm like, follow me for a day, you'll see that it looks glamorous, but it's really not. And I'll explain to them why and talk about the whole process, because it's not just stepping in front of the camera, wearing a pretty dress, stepping on a red carpet, and talking to famous people.
They see the final product.
Exactly, but there's so much behind it. And so I try to expose them to that and make sure that it's something that they really want to do, because it's a very competitive, very cutthroat business. And I feel like if you get a good glimpse early on as to what all it entails, sort of like I did, you know, my mother's best friend, who was a journalist, would take me to work with her. And when I was 9 years old, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I've seen the entire process. Here we are. I'm not going to say how many years later, but it's what I'm doing. So
that's amazing.
It's just a pleasure to be involved in something that is, you know, that has such instant gratification. It's not like you're writing a check to a charity and you don't know how your money's being spent. You can write a check, you know, God knows that it needs the money. It's a nonprofit organization, but if you can donate your time or donate a service and something to inspire the girls, it's all the better.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the fact that it's pouring into women. It's that next generation.
Absolutely, and it's called Black Girls Rock, but it's really not that. That's just, you know, Beverly wanted she wanted a radical name that would attract the attention, you know, of people, because it seems like something that maybe you would have heard of in like the 60s or something like the power movement, like Black Girls Rock, but it's totally inclusive. It's just, you know, she's a black girl, she rocks, she does music, she created the name, I rock with it.
Yeah, that's great. And you were there right at the
beginning. Beverly came up to me at a nightclub, and she's like, you know, she's very shy, so the fact that she's now got this very public platform is great for her. It's new, it's forced her to come out of her shell, and she's like, I got this idea, I don't know if you'd be down for it. This is how she talks. She's like, but you know, I just thought maybe it'd be something that you might want to get with. And I was like, I'm there, I want in, because I just love the mission of it.
That's beautiful. Well, I know you do have some big events coming up. Do you want to share?
Sure, yeah, actually, the biggest one that I can think of is going to close out the year for VH1 is the VH1 Divas special, which is honoring Whitney Houston this year. So it's going to have a lot of amazing performers whose voices she's helped to inspire. And if you've ever seen the VH1 Divas show, it's very big, very bold, loud voices, big hair, you know, big audience. It's a good thing. Man, I'm so busy every week just going to the different events and maintaining the schedule that I do from the morning show to the night. I try to do some writing. You know, my website is new, so I'm trying to blog and just sort of bring people into my world a little bit more.
Good. Tell us your website one more time.
It's just JanellSnowden.com, but make sure you spell my name right. There's no E on the end. I've even had it misspelled on a diploma.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I guess technically I didn't graduate, but it's just Janelle, Janell Snowden, SNOWDEN.
And your Twitter handle?
.com. All just Janelle Snowden.
All
at Janelle Snowden. Instagram, at Janelle Snowden. You know, you can find it all on the website, so you don't have to go searching around a bunch of different places. One-stop shop for the website.
Okay, I have one more question before we go.
Shoot.
Okay, what was your favorite interview of all time? I know, right? Easy question?
No, it's not. It's a really hard question because I've done so many interviews, and I'm...
Okay, give me top 3.
Top 3, okay. U2, Bono specifically. Because he's so much more than a musician, a humanitarian, and just listening to his mind, that's awesome.
Michael Jackson?
I never got to interview Michael Jackson. He was one of my dream interviews. I would have done, I wouldn't have killed, but I would have done a number of things to get Michael Jackson. I love interviewing journalists, believe it or not, because you know, I love interviewing people who are great at what I aspire to do. So I've interviewed Barbara Walters, I've interviewed Oprah Winfrey.
Wow.
And I'm always nervous when I interview those. I'm not really nervous when I interview big celebrities like George Clooney or anybody like that, because when journalists are doing it, I feel like when I'm interviewing them, I feel like they're studying me, and it's really nerve-wracking. But God, I can't give a good answer because I've done so many interviews, and I usually revert to the one that I just did.
Right, because that's what you can remember, because there's so much going on every week. But thank you so much. In your busy schedule, you came out just to spend time with us, and we really appreciate it.
It's been a treat. I do it anytime. Thank you for having me.
Well, for those of you who have enjoyed Janelle, she is beautiful inside and out, and you can see more information on upcoming celebrities. Follow us on Twitter at CShopTV.